July is being heralded as a month of huge change in our lives and change in the direction for humanity. So why the heck do we still feel so exhausted? And some of you are feeling like a failure. That's what I'm going to talk about today, especially for those of us who are sensitives, because we literally feel it first and we feel it more deeply. And if you're new here, my name is Wanda Vitale, and this is the Reality Architects, where we talk about true creation, creating from your heart, using your body, as within, so without, because that is the only way that it works. Exhaustion. I thought I would record this video today. It's a holiday here in the United States because I'm literally exhausted. And I'm reading in comments that a lot of you are. And there's the failure piece, which would seem to be two different things, but they're not. Let's look at what's happening in July energetically and how that plays out in your body. Part of this exhaustion is asking us to finally say no to the things that don't work for us, to stop saving people, to stop thinking that you need to fix everything and that somehow everything that's wrong in the world gets your attention. As sensitives, we are plugged into the field 24/7. We don't compartmentalize like other people. We can't. It's the blessing and the curse. I know some of you, a lot of you think it's the curse, but it's not. It's a blessing. When you're fully aware of what drains you, you withdraw your attention. If you didn't feel things the way you do, and if you didn't process so deeply, the parts of your life that don't work, the places where you're leaking energy, where you're taking on other people's energy would be invisible. You wouldn't notice. So right now, if you're tired during this time of clearing space for what's new, what are you trying to hold up? What are you making yourself responsible for? I spoke a little bit about this in my last video about the fire, because there's a big fire near me in Sedona. The world doesn't need to be fixed. People don't need to be fixed. We don't even need to be healed. Why? Because everything that you experience in your life ultimately turns into wisdom. When you know what love isn't, you know what love is. You get the drift. So right now, if you're exhausted, one reason is, what are you paying attention to that drains you? There are just certain things that it seems every week I am no longer a vibrational match for. For example, I cannot participate in people who continue to talk about what's wrong in the world. Don't we know that already? Most of us do. As reality architects, at some point we realize that when you know what you don't want, energetically you just said, I want this. And then we put all of our attention into this. We stop paying attention to the drama of the world, to the chaos, to the relationships that we no longer insert ourselves into in the middle of, for instance. So many of us learn to be peacekeepers because that's how we got love. We got to stop that. My guides call it the architect's burden. We have to stop assuming that people are powerless and that the infinite part of them doesn't know what it's doing. It does. So that may be one cause of your exhaustion. And another point is why you might feel like a failure. Some people have said, but I've tried and nothing is working and I don't know what to do. That's exactly right. We get exhausted because we have come to the edge of what our mind and this idea that doing alone creates, we've come to the edge of that. It doesn't work. And some of you are experiencing this sense of failure because it's your mind that says, I'm powerless and I don't know how to make anything happen. And that's wrong. Something's wrong with me. But nothing is wrong with you. Your mind was never meant to create a plan, execute a plan, take the steps, decide what it is that you want, and go make it happen. I used to live that way, so I understand, but it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Because in that scenario of being a failure, the mind is trying to control. Well, this should work. Why didn't it work? I did all the things. I did the strategy. I did all the stuff, but it's not working. I hear this from clients. I do my breath work every day. Why is nothing changing? This is the part that is hard to take, I think, sometimes. We're wrestling with reality. We're wrestling with what is, with results. And until we start to realize that life has our back and that there is a greater intelligence that lives us and breathes us, we think we have to be in control. And if things don't work out the way we prefer, then we say, well, I've done something wrong and I'm a failure. When I died alive in 2013-ish, I don't remember exactly, it was the hardest thing I ever experienced. It was an ego death. Some people have a physical near-death experience. My plan was an emotional death where I had to give up every ounce of control. And I know that's difficult, but that's what many of you are trying to do. And that's why you're tired. And that's why you feel exhausted, just as you are breathed, because you don't have to do anything so that your lungs fill up, so that your cells know what to do. We're actually lived. And when I had my dying alive experience, which is why I do this work, because I don't want anybody to wait until circumstances are that severe, because it was terrifying. I had no money, no support, no nothing. There was nothing for me to rely on but me and the part of me that's infinite. It was the worst thing ever, and it was absolutely the best thing ever. So right now, for those of you who are exhausted and feeling like a failure, where are you still living in shoulds? Where are you still judging yourself? Where are you still wanting? Because we can't want and have at the same time. We can't feel the lack of something in our lives so strongly and have it, because they're two different states of being. So right now, as we prepare for this massive lightning rod, I'll call it a lightning rod of energy that's coming through later in the month, wherever your mind, I always say our little pea brain minds, whenever our minds think they know what's best and think they know what should be happening, but it's not happening, you got to let go of control. You've got to feel that fear, and I'll lead you through a process. We just have to witness the fear so that it can move. The real thing that's happening this month, and it will continue. It'll continue for a few years, depending upon where you are in letting go of control in your nervous system, being at peace with the change, no matter what it is, and also giving up the need to believe that anything should be different than what it is. So many people are exhausted because they're fighting what's happening in the world. They're resisting it. They're sponges. And again, for sensitives, yes, we feel everything, but you get to choose what you pay attention to. You get to choose what you notice and what you just take in and say, that's interesting. There's that. But I think for so many of us right now, this energy is showing us this part of us, the mind, the nervous system, that thinks it has to be in control, that thinks it has to know what's happening. And because if I don't do something, I won't get what I want. That's the old distorted masculine energy, and it doesn't work anymore. If you're exhausted, if you're feeling like a failure, I just want you to notice how that feels in your body. Does it feel tight? Does it feel like a hard, compacted energy in your body? Just scan your body. This is the superpower that we as highly sensitive people have, to be able to notice what we notice in our bodies. So notice what you notice, where energy feels stuck. And then I want you to put one hand on your heart and another hand wherever that energy feels stuck or frozen. And I want you to breathe through it. 3 deep belly breaths. 4 in, hold for 4, out for 4, and then stillness for 4. The bigger picture is that these waves of energy that are landing in our nervous system and on the earth are this very high frequency Aquarian energy. We're moving out of me, being a martyr, suffering, victimhood, and we're moving into, is what I want best for humanity. We're moving into, who is the authentic me? What gifts do I have so that I can make the whole a better place? That's why I think some of you have commented that you feel so alone. You may be here to create a community. But right now, everything that's not like this higher frequency, I would call it electric Aquarian energy, is coming up. And again, it affects each of you differently. I've been feeling the Aquarian buzz as kind of a high frequency energy or buzz in my nervous system. And if you're not aware of this, if you're still focusing on, I'm powerless, why isn't it changing? You may not be able to feel that buzz. And it's still happening in you. This Aquarian, almost to me, it feels electric energy, is coming into our nervous systems and asking us to expand more, to hold more light. And this is really the bottom line of why so many people are tired and feel like failures. Because this light knows what it's doing. It's intelligent. It's you. It's the greater part of you. It's the part of you that is infinite, that created the plan for your life, and that knows what's next. As we try to control what's happening, because that's how humans are wired. We're wired for certainty. We're not wired for this change, kids. We're wired for this primitive part of us that needs everything to be the same, even when the same is horrible. So when this massive energy is coming in, that astrologers are speaking to, Barbeau's basket, your nervous system is just trying to keep up. We have to be gentle with ourselves. Lay down if you have to. Stop telling a story that something is wrong or that you need to do more healing. No, you just need to feel what it's driving up. What is failure if you feel like a failure? So I would think that's shame. Shame is one of the last things to go before we dissolve this whole illusion that we're separate from source. So let yourself feel shame. Do the same thing. Breathe through it. Yeah, here's my friend shame. Oh, it feels horrible. I feel like I'm dying. I can't feel this. But you can. Come on in, shame. I'm not going to make you go away. And you breathe through it. Pretty soon, shame goes away. All these emotions that have been buried that are preventing us from experiencing this amazing life that we're here to live. The emotions that tell us something is wrong. Nothing is wrong. You're here to feel. Actually, as a highly sensitive person, you are here to feel it all. And when you no longer go into a story about it, those emotions can move. My question for you, what area of your life do you think you need certainty? What stories are you telling yourself right now that would not be true if you realize that everything is perfect, that you are lived, that you are supported, that you are loved, that you are worthy? Because you are the infinite. You're the infinite with skin, here to explore everything. And I understand that when we get so exhausted, it's probably the last thing we want to hear. But it's true. My own life is an example of that. Where do you need to stop doing something? Because you're doing it out of fear. If I don't do this, X will happen. That's exhausting. What story are you telling about your life and about you? Can you be present with these deeper emotions that are coming up right now? And the big one that we're all being asked to move into more and more. Where can I let go of control? And that's pretty scary for the nervous system. But I can tell you from my own life that giving up control is no different than realizing I am breathed. If there's something I need to do, I'll be moved to do it. If there's some place I need to go, I'll know I need to go there. And right now, where do you need to rest? Where do you just need to let your nervous system recalibrate? Because that's exactly what's happening. As you continue to say no to things that don't fit, realizing that your body is an energy field, it has to recalibrate. We need to let our nervous systems do that. And it doesn't happen in 10 minutes. Sometimes it's 3 days, depending upon the shift that you're going through, that it's time for you to go through. You're never behind. You're right where you need to be. And ultimately, as my teachers of 40 years ago said, we're here to dispel the illusion of separation. That there is the part of you that would be your higher self and the part of you living in this material world. We're here to dispel the illusion that there are two yous. There's only one of you, and that is your higher self, your soul. And it has a body, and your nervous system just isn't on board with that yet. It still looks at these energy pulses that are happening and says, oh no, this is different. I can't let go. And that is absolutely what we need to do. Getting out of fight, flight, and freeze, coming back to center, to rest, regenerate, and create, so that literally You are living from a calm, peaceful state so that this greater part of you says, do this, go here. And like a 2-year-old chasing butterflies, you do it because you know you're safe. You know you can't get it wrong, and you know you're not a failure. Let me know if this rings true for you, and try the breathing. It is absolutely the easiest way to drop into your heart and let your nervous system let in all the goodness that's ready to land.